I'm here with James. Last time I spoke to you after the game against Man United, it was quite a depressing talk we had. Today, the vibes is very much different. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1. North London is red once again. James, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, much better. And it's not because, Brighton, Newcastle, Man United weren't wins and this one was. It's not as simple as that. I really felt, and I said on the watch along, that first 25 minutes where we then found ourselves 1-0 down felt different to when Isak put the ball in the back of the net or Bruno put the ball in the back of the net and you thought, oh, I just don't know if we've shown enough to overturn. We might have had a goal in us, but did we have several? And in this, I was kind of going, okay, look, you don't want to be 1-0 down in North London derby and you start to think, is this just going to be like all the other games? But I was far more confident that we were going to conjure something because of what we'd seen from the first 20 minutes from Arsenal. Now, is that because Spurs play into our hands? Maybe, but you can only play what's in front of you. And Arsenal, I thought, looked a lot better today. Was it a perfect creative performance? No, it certainly wasn't a perfect finishing performance. So some of those underlying problems remain. But I think on Derby Day, you just got to enjoy the things you did well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. We made a very good start. Pretty much dominated the first 20, 25 minutes. So when Tottenham did score, that was totally against a run of play. And you kind of look at it thinking, oh, no, here we go again, Yeah. But to be fair, that little 5-minute period just before half-time, Gabriel steps up.
Yeah.
And then Trossard, very good finish. Do you think we could possibly have gone on and scored more, though? Do you think the performance was worthy of more goals?
Yeah, I think we could have scored 3 before our first. We could have scored 4 after. And not because necessarily we had loads of amazing chances, but because there were so many openings and moments where you go, Liverpool faced this team, that same back four, and scored 6 there. Now, to be fair, they also drew a blank against them the other week. But in that Premier League game, they scored 6 because when Spurs gave them those openings, they really punished them. And that's what quality does. It turns a 2 or a 3 into a 6. And, you look at that Odegaard chance, in that second half that he just swipes at it like Havertz did. And you think, are these players panicking in front of goal? Because you are technically able as a footballer to put the ball in the back of the net. By the way, I thought Odegaard was really good today. I was happy with him.
All but his finishing. I thought his approach play and some of the stuff he did was really, really good. Unfortunately, the knock on Odegaard sometimes is he's not the best finisher. And unfortunately for him, that was manifested today. But I still think, yeah, you're right. He did have a good game.
Yeah, he did. I thought Trossard grew into the game, and he obviously did get his goal. And Kai Havertz and Sterling, if they do things with a bit more conviction, I think the most fresh moment in our memory was Havertz squaring it to Sterling, having won it back high up the pitch and making a mess of it. But what about when we won it high up the pitch and Sterling's put through on goal by Lewis Skelly, who, by the way, was sensational today. And Sterling, again, just sort of pulls out because you can't say he doesn't have enough time to get there because actually Jed Spencer gets in front of him. So, look, those two were... Look, I'm not going to... They were not at the level of maybe certain others, but every player put a shift in. I think when you're in a bit of a fight, which we are, to pull together some wins, some kind of momentum to capitalise on what Liverpool did, then all you can ask is for some fight, and you hope the quality will come through because at the moment we know what we're lacking and we know that that's definitely an issue in our game. So at least if you're not going to give us that quality, give us that fight. And to be fair, everyone did.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair assessment. Talking of fight, let's talk about the man Gabriel. I thought he was absolutely outstanding today from start to finish. And I described it on the watch along. I said that what I love about him is that his mentality. I'll call it elite mentality. We saw it on Sunday against Man United. He was arguably at fault for the goal against Man United, but then he bounced back and scored a pretty good goal to get us back in it. And today, when we needed something, he was there. And I saw the way he was cajoling the players, and right throughout the game, I thought he was brilliant.
He's the definition of a big game player. I mean, really he is. Because he steps up, whether it be Tottenham away, Tottenham at home, at the Bridge, at the Etihad, at Anfield. He scored at Old Trafford. I think he scored at Old Trafford. He just scored against Man United the other day.
I think he's got something like 7 goals this season already, isn't it?
Like an unbelievable return. And it looks like they're not even going to give him this Tottenham one. But anyway, whatever. He's collected the Tottenham goal before. I ask people who have watched Sol Campbell, Tony Adams, all them, what those players were like, because I didn't get to watch them. And I'm not going to watch, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of footage to see, because it's not just the highlights. We can all watch highlights. I can all get an idea of how good they were. I'm talking in-game, every moment. Do they put it out for a throw-in, or do they roll it across the line to their midfield? Little things like that that you just capture through watching your team every minute, week in, week out. And, I'd love to ask, and this is not me making a hyperbolic statement, it's a question to everyone. Where do Gabriel and Saliba rank amongst these great Arsenal centre-backs? I'm not saying that they're the best or that they are even in that conversation, but I'd love to know, because I grew up on Koscielny. Like, I would have sworn that Koscielny was a top defender for us. Yeah. But you ask others, they go, he's all right. And I'm like, because of what they've seen before. Yeah. So Saliba and Gabriel, but let's talk about Gabriel, because Saliba was terrific today as well.
Yeah. His performance today should not be understated. Yeah. I thought he was very good.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. And while I have, I'm not going to go back and watch hours and hours and hours and hours of tapes, and I'd like other people's input on their ranking amongst those, I will plant my flag in the sand and say they are two of the best centre-backs in world football. Two of the best. Where you want to rank them is up to you. But
no, definitely. Let's talk about Miles Skelly, because I thought he was another one today. It was outstanding. Somebody so young.
Yeah.
Again, mentality stood out for me today. It wasn't just the fact that he played well. I thought he handled the occasion well. I thought he handled some of the shenanigans that was going on during the game very well. And seems like the Arsenal crowd are really warming to this kid.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because the talent is on show. I think one of the things that we need to realise is there are thousands of footballers around in these academies, probably getting to a certain level and waiting to make that next step up, whether it be at a big club or wherever it might be, trying to break into that first team. I have no idea what that's like, so I'm not going to tell people what they need or what they need to do or what that next step means. But I sometimes, when I look at a performance like that from Lewis Skelly, I think that might have been, you just said the word mentality, it might be your manner, your mentality, your maturity that makes you go, yes, he's ready. He's a level above the others. I'm sure there's many, many, many technical players in the Arsenal Academy. So why did it take for a guy who's just turned 18 and another 17-year-old to get these moments when there were 19-year-olds we were talking about a few years ago? And I think it is, your mentality, your maturity, when he receives the ball, he knows whether... So ball's quite high up there, make its way down, there's a Tottenham player. He knows whether to take a touch towards where the player's coming to take him out of the game. He knows whether to shield his body in the way, let it run across so the ball's more settled, or he knows whether to just get it long. And every time it's his decision making. And then when he has to defend, I thought one of the most impressive things he's done in an Arsenal shirt so far was Kulusevski had the ball and he's driving space. Now Kulusevski isn't Theo Walcott quick, but he's quick. And he's a very good ball carrier. He's a strong ball carrier.
He's also a big, strong guy as well.
But Lewis Skelly got back, showed the pace, and then got his body in front to the point where he didn't just make a tackle and then we need to pick up the second ball. Arsenal retained possession and went from there. And I'm watching this guy thinking, you're not just slotting in for White, Tomiyasu, Calafiori. No, you're our best left back. That's how the performances look to me.
Yeah. And a word for the manager. I mean, let's be honest, he was under a bit of pressure today. Performances recently have not been great. North London derby is always a big game. Arguably today was bigger than normal because of the situation with regards to the league and that. How important was it for the manager to get a win today, both for the club and for himself? Because he has been under a bit of pressure, I think it's fair to say.
It's very fair to say. His celebration at full time would have told you that. He really,
enjoyed that.
The crowd, he was happy, and I think the club needed. I think the fans staying behind, having a little dance, enjoying it at the end. Gabriel enjoying his moment, and some people will go, "Oh, 1 win in 4 in there." But listen, football's about enjoying these moments, and I always think there's kind of 3 things you enjoy, right? It's the trophy winning. It's the community aspect of football, and derbies is the other big bit. They're kind of one of the big days in the calendar you look out for. So you enjoy days like today, and I think Arteta needed it for a little bit of self-confidence maybe. I like that he went with a balanced 11. Now look, I would have gone with Trossard down the middle, but he's going to stick with Havertz. That's going to be his guy till there's someone else who comes in. But he went with Sterling on the right, Trossard on the left, Havertz up front, and it's not a front 3 I love by any means, but it's balanced. And he had a hard-working midfield 3. And the one thing I'll say about this Arsenal, they looked really coached in possession, out of possession. Some of the invention, when we were 1-0 down, I was thinking to myself, this one isn't on the manager. Now, Newcastle, Man United, I said Arteta needs to coach more ideas into them. But I was watching that first 25 going, you boys have done enough to put that ball in the back of the net, or the team has. You have played in a way that has earned you here 2-3 goals. ultimately you have to put it in the back of the net. So even at 1-0 down, Arteta wasn't in my mind. I thought they've got enough out here, just get it done. And they came through and did it. And I think while we, are looking at Arteta going, please tell us that you hate your forwards and you want a striker and all that, which is obviously never going to say. The reality is, I think, he's got to keep injecting something into them because it's going to be that maybe gives Trossard that belief to just slap it with his left foot. And maybe Trossard would have done it anyway, but you know what? Just keep, before derbies, feed that positivity, try build some momentum and try play for something in this league because I think there's still something to play for.